Hey guys, how's it going on? In today's video, I'm going to be going over my build for my hunter and what I like to use in the Grandmaster Nightfalls. As you guys know, the Conqueror seal is going to be coming up, and we are going to be needing to defeat each bosses in the Nightfalls. They said killing champions are not going to matter as much, so it's just basically getting through, staying alive, and killing things. So, if you look at here, you can kind of see the rotation. It's going to be inside Terminus, Exodus Crash, Arms Dealer, Water of Nothing, Brute Hold, and True Probabilities. Inside Terminus is going to be Cabal. Exodus Crash is going to be Fallen. Arms Dealer is going to be Cabal. Watering of Nothing. We know that there's going to be Vex and Cabal. Then we have the Brew Hold, which is going to be Hive and some Fallen. And then we have Trio Probabilities, which we have right now, which is going to be Cabal. So here is how I am going to use my hunter. I'm going to break it down. If you're more than welcome to copy this build. One of the very first essential things, play hunter. You're going to love this build. All right. First thing for me, it's going to be the Assassin Cow helmet. It has been changed this season. If you need to know more about this helmet, like a complete breakdown, the timers, depending on a minor or a major or a boss or orange bar, whatever it is, you can find that in one of my previous videos, which all I talk about is Assassin Cow. Here, I'm just gonna go through a quick breakdown. Assassin Cow has it to where Arc Solar and Void Melee grant invisibility, but it also gives you a portion of your health back and shields. Finishers and final blows against powerful targets give you more time. All right. When it comes to being an endgame, especially having a 25 light level difference, this is going to matter because survivability is key here. And as a hunter, you're going to be keen to be moving around, staying invisible. And with this build, you're going to have some fun. Now, for me, I like to run a few things here. I like to use Taken Charge. Taken Charge is you become charged with light by picking up an orb of light. And guess what? You can kind of control that because you can basically have a masterwork weapon. You kill two enemies, and boom, you have an orb there. You can pick it up. Your fire team member can make an orb, and you pick it up. You get charged with light. Why do you want to get charged with light? You want to get charged with light because I like running something called high energy fire. High energy fire allows you to do 20% damage to enemies. High energy fire is free damage. It's like having a power rift, but you don't really have a power rift. You don't need the ability to have it, right? It stacks up to 2, and it's pretty awesome. Now, I just kind of spoke about like the enemies that you're going to face. You might be facing Cabal. You might be facing, some Fallen and some Hive. We have Fallen and Hive armaments, so my build might change depending on that as well, right? I might go with like someone that has Hive armament and Hive barrier. So now I have my exotic, which is Assassin Cow on, which is my helmet. I now have 2 pieces, one for taking charge, the other for the high energy fire, and apart from that, I have 2 parts left. And if I'm fighting any of these enemies, especially if I could put Hive barrier or Fallen barrier on, which means that I take less damage for a certain amount of time, I mean, I don't know about you, but I love that, right? Because when it comes to barrier, Fallen damage, it gives you 20% reduction in damage for 10 seconds. And I think that's an awesome major thing, especially when you're on the light. Then you also have armaments, right? Armaments allow you to make heavy. And for me, I like to use the Anarchy in my setup. I like to run double primary so I can cover Overload or Unstoppable and I can cover my NT barrier. So boom, that kind of helps me out. I know that I'll have heavy. Now, in situations where like you have famine or situations that you have to where like you can't get your life back, guess what? This helmet is going to come play. You're going to be able to kind of get around. And why are you going to be able to get around? I am going to break down my subclass and my preferred subclass and why I use it. I am now using Night Stalker Bottom Tree, the Way of the Pathfinder. This subclass is amazing. it works in synergy, and it is one of the best synergy ever. All right. You have lockdown, where your grenades effects last twice as long, and allows for strong territorial control and increased damage potential. Mobius Quiver. You fire shadow shot multiple times in a rapid succession. Shadow shots deal massive damage against tethered enemies. Defeating tethered enemies create orbs of light and grants nearby allies the Heart of the Pack buff. You may ask me what Heart of the Pack buff is. Heart of the Pack does a lot of things, right? Heart of the Pack gives you weapon haste, increases your mobility, your recovery, and resilience. So you have all that stacked up. And your weapon reload is incredibly insane when you have it, right? Now, here's the cool thing about this. I will also break down how to use the super, because a lot of people seem to have troubles with the super, and this super does a crap ton of damage. It is a beautiful super. I love the super, right? You have combat precision. Damaging enemies with grenades grant melee ability energy. Making allies invisible grants grenade energy. So if you have two allies, you make them invisible. Depending on what your discipline is, you're going to get a lot of energy back for that grenade. Now, what I like to use is the Gambler's Dodge. If I dodge near an enemy, I get my melee back, which is my smoke. I get to use it again, and I get my grenade. And then if I use my grenade on the target, I get some of that melee energy back. Now, I'm going to demonstrate this real quick, because, a lot of people ask me, like, how do you get your stuff back so quick? Like, what are you doing? Like, how did you do that? So we're going to break that down real quick, all right? We're going to do this real quick here. So generally, you can see that my mobility, because I like my mobility to be at 100, is at 100, right? So that means that my dodge comes back in about 0.9 seconds. So if I throw my smoke and I dodge, I have it again. And I throw my smoke, I have Heart of the Pack times 2. Now you can see that my movement is quick, and even my reload is ridiculous. And that is at times 2. And if I dodge again and I go invisible, look at this. Handling is pretty insane. Now, if I throw my grenade, look at my smoke. Look at my, you see that? Do you see that? I got it back. And my grenade was still there the whole time, right? And now my Heart of the Pack is back at times 3. This might be very viable if there's certain spots that you want to get through really quick. Now, a cool thing about this super that a lot of people don't understand is the first initial shot, and if you read the description, it says shadow shots deal massive damage against tether enemies. So what you have to do is you turn your first shot into the actual tether and the rest for damage. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tether in center. Now he's tethered, and you can see that my next damage is 40,000, and he's already dead. Do you see that? So the first tether is not going to be the one that does the massive damage, but it is the one that is anchored to help the others do more damage. All right. Now, the ability to make yourself invisible, and it's for 7 seconds, is really, really important. And think about this, right? As you're running by enemies, especially in high-end content, which is going to be Grandmasters, you get to be invisible. You might be the last guardian standing, so you have to do something like this. All right. And on top of it, instead of, just by you staying invisible, you also have your helmet that helps you, right? Have your helmet that basically, whenever you need to kill a red bar enemy, you're going to be invisible for 9 seconds, and you just, get to get a lot of freedom, man. And I feel like the Hunter is very underrated. The super is going to do a lot of damage for you, even on bosses. The ability to keep your teammates alive is going to be a cool one. And this also lets you get in place, so you can kind of, let's say you need to get into a room and go to a certain corner, so because you have a strat for it, the Hunter is going to help you get there. All right. A lot of you always talk about, man, EK, you're always playing Titan or Warlock. I will have those builds as well, but this is what I'm going to use on my Hunter Grandmaster. I believe it. I believe in it. It has never failed me, and it's been doing really well. All right, it's almost like having Devourer at some point, because if you use the red bars to your advantage, get him one shot, and you hit him with a finisher every time, you are going to get your health back. And the cool thing about finishers is that the distance is is very forgiving. I would say about 9 meters, and that is pretty freaking awesome. All right, thank you guys for watching my video. I will have the Warlock and the Titan up soon. Don't forget, recovery is major key in this build right here. All right. Having that 100 recovery is going to help so much, because that dodge is constantly going to be such a cool thing to have. All right. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.